Welcome to Global Success Stories Season 2. As we have started last year interviewing different successful people from all over the world, as you know that we have covered 36 nations, 51 different successful people, and we have learned so many things from their life, their journey, their struggles and their success, the behind the story, what they do, why they do, and how they're doing it. And we were so inspired by looking into their life, their stories, and their journeys. So we decided to continue this journey into different format this year. And as you know that we have covered into 6 different categories this year. So I'm bringing the people from all over the world and to try to understand their life stories, their journeys, and their struggle as well. In this episode, guess what? I'm really lucky, fortunate, and really humbled to have someone who has multi-dimensional experience. When I say multi-dimensional experience, what I want to mean exactly is this personality who has experienced working into various sectors, various industries in various formats, and that is exactly working for Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 40 companies rather, and he has also worked as a CIO, Chief Information Officer, so that means under the top ladder, and also experienced as an entrepreneur where he started his journey into the electronic industry, manufacturing into the high-tech sector. And now he has started his probably another innings of his life, that is serving the people, serving the humanity as an state government official who is elected official from the government of Utah from United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Mr. Michael Howard.
Thank you.
I'm really glad to have you into the Global Success Stories, and I'm really inspired to have you. So
thank you.
What
it's
a
a pleasure
successful,
for me to be here.
yeah, thank you. So you have the colorful career, I would say rather, as an entrepreneur, as an employee, and now as an elected official. So what a varieties of different dimensions. Not many people actually could experience this kind of things, working to the top of the industry, manufacturing as an entrepreneur, and then again coming back to the government. So what really inspired you?
I've always had this idea to reinvent yourself, to come up with new ways of contributing to the world. And at first, when I started my career working for a Fortune 40 company, it was great. I worked for American Stores Company, largest grocery retailer in the United States. It was wonderful. I met my wife there. It was great. Got to a point where it's just like, okay, it's time to move on to do something else. Became the CIO, worked for an engineering firm for a number of years as the information officer, then decided now it's time to go on to a new phase and do my own thing, as you will, is what they call it in the States, do your own thing. And I did that. And then 4 years ago, I was approached about stepping out of the private sector into the governmental sector in the area in which I live, and looked at it as another opportunity to reinvent myself again and to explore new avenues of knowledge, new ways of contributing to the world to make my community better than that. So that's kind of...
So what a fascinating journey, rather, I would say, that's the struggle we face. A lot of time we say that, why do I need to take challenge? Why do I need to, reinvent myself? Why do I need to go for another industry, another segment where I don't know about that industry or, that journey? So we are afraid sometimes to take back. But for your case, what I see that you went to the top of the industry as an employee, as a CIO, and then again came back as an entrepreneur. Now again, the call to serve.
In government. So
in
now
the government, yeah.
In government, elected official. So now I've kind of gone to the top of the government.
Yeah, top of the government official.
And it's an inner drive, to want to contribute, to want to be better. And that's what's driven me. And I feel that there's more knowledge out there than anybody. Now let me paraphrase. Let me rephrase that. There's so many ways we can contribute that I don't think as human beings we should just limit ourselves to one area that we can contribute to the world, because our talents in business may have applicability to talents in government or to uses in government, or vice versa. So why not explore the whole palette, the whole buffet, I call it, of opportunities that are out there?
Wow. So that's the thing that you said, reinventing yourself.
Yes.
When I see your profile, like I also see that you have done MBA, and recently you have done MPA, right?
MPA, yes.
So, and you just completed this just a couple of months back, right?
Yeah, May of this year.
So, May this year. So this actually also tells about who you are. Tell us something about, what actually drives you to again push you to go to the university. Yeah, we understand that, we could start our career, we could do something, but you pushed yourself somewhere to the university level again, where you had the top-notch MBA. Tell us something about this journey.
When I came into government, one of the things I found was that the knowledge I gained from being an entrepreneur, and also that my MBA gave me, was that we looked for certain efficiencies in the way that we would do operations in the business side. Coming into public sector, it was different. And the concepts and ideas that I had learned through my entrepreneurship and through my MBA didn't work as well.
Okay.
And so I figured I want to do this well. I want to succeed at being at working in the public sector.
Okay.
So I thought, I'm going to go get more knowledge.
Okay.
I want to become better. I want to learn more about it. And so that's what drove me to go do it.
Great. So looking into your profile, that a lot of us would be, thinking about, why do I need to go for? I have already learned so many things. I have rich of experience. I have done this and this and this. That means we feel that satisfied, that everything, nothing more to accomplish. But for your case, your hunger,
Yes.
What actually, inside that keep you, pushing, always trying to reinvent yourself?
That's a great question, because I found in myself there's just a desire to want, it's almost a passion, it's a passion of mine to just improve and contribute more and more and more. And I've never been one to just, I've come to the belief that if you stand still, the world's going to go on without you, because it's going to continue to progress. So if I was to stay in one spot and think I've learned everything I need to learn, I don't need to learn anything else, that knowledge is going to change. If we look at just what happened in the technology industry, 20 plus years ago, did the iPhone really exist? And if someone would have said, hey, there's not going to be an iPhone. But no, things change rapidly. And you can either be part of the solution and part of the going forward, or you can just kind of watch yourself become more irrelevant. And I love to be involved. I love to be contributing ideas and learning it. So it's an inner passion and inner desire that I have.
Great. So what you are saying essentially is like only change is pertinent, right? If we don't want to change ourselves, that means we are trying to eliminate ourselves from the fast-paced world, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of us, we are afraid of change. How can we actually push ourselves to change ourselves from the old belief to new thoughts, new belief, and new understanding?
All of us have desires, I think, in the human race, where we aspire to something different. We look at our situation, we might think that, I want to make it better from where I'm at right now. And I think the biggest key that I learned from one of my professors, Larry Miller, who owns the Utah Jazz, go Jazz, was that you, number one, have to believe in yourself.
Okay, believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Okay.
If you have that really core belief, knowledge that you can do something and believe in it, that serves as the fundamental stepping stone to get started on this process of change.
That's truly wonderful way to start. And once we start believing ourselves, and how do we progress? What's the lesson that you have learned over the years, like believing yourself? If you can give us, nuggets or some ways and some steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe we could, discuss about it as well in detail. So one of the things that you said, very essentially, very important, believing yourself, and that everyone's journey actually starts from the believing own self.
Right.
If we do not believe in ourselves, then nobody is going to believe.
No one's going to do it for us.
Correct.
No one's going to believe in us if we don't
Correct.
believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
If we don't have if we believe in our vision, and as an entrepreneur, when I brought this new product to market, of course there's naysayers. Oh, it's not going to work. Your idea, yeah, it's okay, but da-da-da-da-da. Whatever reason, it's not going to work, whatever. There's a lot of people out there who feel frustrated because they can't progress, and so they try and pull you down, try and keep you from progressing. Believing in yourself, number one, that is critical. Number two, get all the knowledge you can.
Okay.
Become the best at whatever it is you want to do. So if you want to make a company of widgets, you make yourselves the best widgets ever. If you're looking to be a human resources company, consulting company, then you set the standard that everybody else tries to match, so that you set that barrier really high so that it's tough for other players to enter. So getting all the knowledge, you believing in yourself, getting all the knowledge that you can, and the third, work your tail off.
Okay. Great.
No one's going to do the work for you. It's just like, and so, you got the belief, you got the knowledge, now just go to work. There's a saying in the United States, we roll our sleeves up and we get our hands dirty and we go to work. And you just get in and you do the work. And you do what it takes to achieve the success. And even during the ups and downs, you might feel frustrated sometimes. You might feel like, it's not worth it. Just one more day. There was days I would tell myself, one more day, I can do this, one more day, I can get through today. And eventually through all that hard work, it pays off.
Excellent. So what we understand from this, believing yourself, get the knowledge. So that means push yourself up always, fix the vision, like where you want to go. And based on that, we also need to upgrade our knowledge, our abilities, our understandings, our thoughts, our old beliefs. So based on that, if we can work our ass off or tail off, what you said, Michael, so that is really, really very important step. We all know that. Probably many of us, those who are listening, everybody might know, but somewhere we fail to implement in our life. Because probably what I understood, that is the inner call, why we do it, what we could do it. Can you help us also, digesting this factor and how we could overcome the self-limiting belief? We know that knowledge is power. We need to upgrade ourselves continuous basis.
Right.
We need to work hard. Right.
So the number one thing that I've seen in my career is people are afraid. There's fear, as you've mentioned.
Fear. Okay.
It's fear. It's fear of maybe failure. It's fear of what other people might think. There's fear, fear, fear. And I think it's important to acknowledge that the emotion of fear that you feel is a valid emotion. It's valid. We as human beings, we feel fear. In response to certain stimuli, we'll feel it. But we don't let it control us. We recognize that, yes, I feel afraid in this situation. I might fail. I may not make it. I may not be elected. It's okay. But we don't let it frustrate us from what we're doing. We learn to acknowledge the fear, live with the fear, not try to extinguish it, because I think it's a good motivating force, but channel it.
Okay, yeah. That's truly interesting, because a lot of time we actually defeat. We try to control probably. We try to eliminate probably as well, some of us. But what you said essentially very important, that this is also good to have something and then channel this emotion towards the goodness, right? And how could you do that, right? Because we are afraid to take new challenge always, right? Every time, that if it is something new, how can I do that? I don't have this knowledge. Am I really fit for this? Should it, worth for? chasing this dream. So a lot of time we face this. This fear actually engulfed everybody, almost everybody. But only those who are successful today, went to the top of the ladder, they have overcome the fear of failure. Isn't it?
Yes. And did my life turn out 100% positive every time? No. There were times I fell down. I was afraid. I got back up. Do I continue? Do I not continue? And it's just like, I just challenged that I'm going to continue on. And so it's learning to just channel that fear. I feel that's the biggest motivator that precludes, because when you look at so many people's situations, they're always afraid of something. You know, it's like, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, what of this, what of that. And I still go back to that point that my professors taught a long time ago. Larry Miller was he was very inspirational to me.
Okay.
He's since passed a couple years ago, but this was a man who started as a parts clerk in an automobile store and rose to become the owner of the Utah Jazz and built a huge multimedia and automobile empire in the Western United States. And he talked about how he and his wife, Gail, they were afraid when they started. But they stayed with it through the ups and downs and the setbacks, to go forward. And they had that fear and they just kept going. So I guess the lesson I would say to your viewers is that, yes, you're going to be afraid. It's something we've heard a lot, but channel it, understand it, live with it, manage it, because don't let it control you. You control it. Don't let it control you to not let you pursue your dreams. You're never going to be 100% knowledgeable. You're never going to have all the conditions correct. It's the human condition. Nothing's going to ever be 100% ready to go, and that's the time you do it. It might only be 50%. But in your heart, if you feel that it's time to make that break, trust it, go with it, and let the fear be there, but don't let it prevent you from doing what you want to do.
Fantastic. So what I learned from this conversation, particularly for this fear factor, because every one of us, we have the fear, but only defeat comes when we actually let go. We let go our dream, not let go the fear.
Yes.
If we went other side, other than chasing the dream, chasing the desire that we want to have, if we leave that things, that is the defeat actually. So that's what you said, that we have to continue pushing ourselves hard. We have to continue looking to the things to have the clear vision. If we have the clarity of a vision, I think, and I believe as well, that the fear automatically we can manage in some time, because we don't have the clarity of a vision. Probably we don't have the standard where we want to go, and that's the sometime that fear engulfed us. And that's what you nicely explained. We would want to know that in your career, in your life, that you have achieved so many things. Do you think that there's something, if we could realize in our early career, maybe 10, 15, 20 years back when you started first in your career, in corporate journey, that today you realize that something, if somebody told you at 20 years back and how to look into the career, the perspective, we always say that, look into things, if we can change how we think, how we look into things, that could change our path, that could separate it. Because we go like this, but if someone can help us, maybe a little change, little shift like this, but the difference goes end of 10, 15, 20 years. Right. Sitting today as a successful, government official, elected officials, being an entrepreneur, top level employee, what one thing that you could say that makes a difference to begin the career?
Get as much knowledge as you can. That was one thing that I was taught and realized as time went on, because what gets you to the top is being better than everybody else. And being better than everybody else requires better skill sets, better knowledge, better vision, and better drive. And so Larry Miller again in grad school. He was wonderful. I really loved him. Was the one that talked about
it looks
that.
like he has got an impact on your life.
He did. I wish he was still around so he could hear and I could come and I could thank him. But he had such an impact on it because he did talk about being better. You know, he looked at different ways to do the parts that were better than what we had done before. And he just worked his way up.
Okay.
And the knowledge and the drive. So get as much knowledge as you possibly can continuously to push yourself up.
So that means the hunger for learning and self-development or developing own self, that only can keep us pushing further.
Right.
Right. So in today's world, if we can talk about, so many of us are successful in our own terms, but somewhat we see that there is empty inside. We might earn hundreds of millions of dollars, but so much of frustration this world is experiencing, right? The people are killing himself, sabotaging, all these things are actually, we are advancing at the same time humanity, at the same time the depression, anxiety, the obesity, all these things, frustration, that's also killing us. What is in your mind? Why it is happening? So much of technological advancement, everything is there. We are earning so many things, but yet we are missing something.
There's a saying that I've always lived by that says, I work to live, I don't live to work. And I think it's important as you look at your life, you look at it as a journey. We only get one. All of us only get one life. And how we approach that life determines our level of happiness. If we want to make ourselves happy, we control that. If we're stuck in a job that we don't like, we can change it. If we're stuck in an educational situation we don't like, we have the power to change it. And so I think, again, it comes down to that inner desire to wanting to make a change because we can set our own happiness. We're the masters of it. We've been given great opportunities through, at least I'm speaking for myself. I've been given great opportunities in my life as things have come on. And I can say I've really enjoyed the journey most of the time. There's been times it's been frustrating, when you're starting out or something. But as I look back on it now, I've really liked my journey. I'm happy with who I am and what I've achieved because I've worked to live, I've not lived to work.
Fantastic. What a great way, actually. One life, once we live, right? And then if we are not enjoying the moment, right, the current job or the current work that you do, being a job or being an entrepreneur, irrespective. But the matter is what we are doing, are we actually enjoying the present moment? Mm-hmm. That determines the next, that what we're going to create in our future. But we still fear.
Yes.
The uncertainty. But what you said is essentially, this is one life. Anytime, like, we might end our lifetime chance.
Yes.
But why not utilize this time, this opportunity, so that we can create something bigger? Now coming back again in today's profession, what you're doing is serving the government, serving serving your people. Like, what is the reason actually that you took this call?
Another change. It's another life event. I was working great in the private sector, and I was approached by people who lived in the area in which I live and asked, would you consider running for public office? And my wife and I, we sat back, we talked about it and thought, yeah, this would be something new to do so that it creates kind of that other spectrum again, a whole nother way to reinvent yourself again. So we said, yes, we'll run for office. And I was elected. It was great.
Okay. Is it easy decision to take, like this kind of call, to take it and as a challenge?
It's not as easy as it first appeared. As an entrepreneur, I was able to choose through the market factors and that who my customers were. So most of my customers, 95% of them, loved us, who we were. But in government, half of people love you and the other half hate you.
Correct.
And so thick skin has to come into play. A different way of looking at things has to come into play. So it wasn't as easy as it first appeared. But it is very gratifying to know that the skill sets that I've brought and learned and acquired over the course of my career, I can now put into play serving my fellow citizens.
So as you said, serving the fellow citizen, is it the number one call from your inside? Like that's what now you want to take this as a challenge. We're trying to understand the reason behind, because why we do something. As you said, the serve.
Yes.
A lot of us, we actually forget sometimes that, why we do that. As you said, the serving. Tell us something about the serving mentality, the serving mindset.
Okay. The serving mindset is such, I've been given a lot of opportunities that I've fortunately taken the opportunity to seize upon and to build upon. My community has supported me in that. They've bought my products. They have supported me as a CIO. They've supported me in a Fortune 40 by buying the groceries at the stores that we owned. And so now those are all skills that have helped make myself money, help make other people money.
Right.
And now those skills I can come in and help deliver governmental services to everybody. So whether they be roads, whether they be whatever. And so it's a chance to give back, because I feel that as a human being in this world, it would be extremely selfish of me to just take and not give. And this is a way I can give back. So that's where that serving mentality comes from. Is I was always taught since an early age is to help out, to go do something. And so this is a way I can help pay back my community.
What a great way. So we also need to give back something to the society, something to the people, something who has contributed us, helped us to shape what we are today. If we can little bit contribute in terms of giving back to the society, I think this gives us so much of fulfillment, so much of, the chance and opportunity to see the life in different way. So that's another way, another things that I've learned from you. Tell us something about, if you can talk about 10 years from now, where do you want to see yourself? Like you have changed in 3 times, you have reinvented yourself. You went to the corporate, you came back to the entrepreneurial journey, and then you are now serving as an elected official. Where do you see yourself in next 10, 15, or even 20 years time?
My wife and I, we were just talking about this here a couple weeks ago. And I have another goal now, is another way to serve is I've always had a dream about living in Hawaii. And so what I'd like to do is move to Hawaii and become a professor at the University of Hawaii and teach public administration at the University of Hawaii, to give to a future generation some of the skills and the knowledge that I've learned for those that are coming up
throughout the journey.
So that's where my next goal is.
So you want to live in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then contribute.
It's one of my favorite places ever.
Great. If I may ask you something that, young Howard young Michael Howard in, let's say, 30 years early. So what advice you want to give the young Michael Howard? One advice, and you think today could be most worthy to give?
I doubted myself at times.
Okay.
And I would tell myself back then, stay true to your vision. Don't be afraid to reinvent, and stay true to what you want, and stay true to your desires. That's what I would tell my younger self.
Wow. So that tells about, are you doubting yourself? Do you have doubt, even a percentage? What we learn, we should not, and you should not. If you doubt yourself, guess what? Who else is going to have the confidence on you? So eliminate all this self-doubt, the fear, the anxiety. I think only then the life can give you so much, because out there, everything is waiting for us. Thank you, Michael, for your wonderful, sharing experience, the knowledge and wisdom. One last minute thought, what you want to share, that if somebody asks you, so that is the chance that you don't have any fear, you don't have any, look back. What one thing that you want to do?
It's a good question.
It might be a hard question too. You don't have any fear, any shortage, any limitations, but you have given all this free things. Just do one thing in your life.
One thing I would do, that's a very good question. And I've got to kind of put my answer together here for that one.
Sure,
but,
take your time.
But I would think looking back on my life, I've enjoyed it. One thing would be, what would that be? I've got conflicting thoughts and that going through my mind right now, but it would be going back is to be happy. I know that sounds really trite and really simple, but is to be more happy, because there were times I got caught in the doldrums that starting something up and the hours worked and switching and the thesis that had to be written or whatever for grad school and that, and it would be like, just really loved the journey more than what I did. I mean, I know it sounds really good. I've achieved all these things, and I'm proud of what I've achieved, and I've loved it. But I think the journey, I should have enjoyed the journey more.
That's the missing part, maybe some of the thing.
Yep, that's
Correct.
The missing part for me, is to enjoy the journey more.
So is that something, the reason that you are actually now trying to help others, contribute others, in your way of serving, in your way of giving? You want to enjoy your life fullest?
Yeah, it's a way to do it, because as you alluded to earlier or mentioned earlier, there's a lot of depression. There's a lot of sadness in the world out there. And a lot of it stems from what it is that we do as a career choice or a job choice, or our decisions in life that we've done. And it goes back to, like, if we really understand and love our journey, we can eliminate a lot of that. And that's the part that I'm really trying to convey through our conversation or through my various different interactions I have with young people or whatever, is enjoy that journey. It's your journey. Make it, live it, be happy with it, make the good decisions, work hard, and it will be fun, and it will be happy. Enjoy it. So
thank you so much, Michael, for your time and sharing all this. This is truly wonderful, reinventing our own self. And that's maximum of us. We fail to reinvent our own life. And guess what? If we are able to reinvent our own self, even if it is 20% of our ability that we have, because today, what in general it is, like, we are actually able to only utilize 5% of our potential. In generally, 95% of our potential remain hidden and unutilized in our lifetime. What we are essentially saying is, we just need to reinvent maybe 5, 10, 15% more than that of today. We are utilizing our own self, our own abilities. Only then our life would be changed. We could enjoy our life without fear, without anxiety, and life would never be the same. We invite you, encourage you, and welcome you to reinvent yourself. Your life would never be the same. Thank you for watching, and thank you for staying with us.